Hello and welcome to the first ever Raven Honey Academy Awards. I'm your host, Raven Honey. Subscribe to become part of the Hive. Be sure to like and ring the notification bell. Thanks, honeybees. Enjoy the video. Meow. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. When I say the Raven Honey Academy Awards, what I mean by that is I created a bunch of new Oscar categories inspired by real Oscar categories because the Academy Awards, the Oscars, was just last weekend. And I wanted to do a recap on that, but I was already kind of late with my previous video talking about the best and worst films of 2025, and I feel like those two videos would have been just too similar. So I thought, let's do something completely different. I'm going to hold my very own little ceremony where I just have a bunch of new categories for film where I can highlight not only the best films of the year as highlighted in the Oscars and talk more about them, but also highlight and recognize some of the films that weren't recognized at all at the Oscars or any other sort of award ceremonies. I feel like when it comes to award season, Oscars in general, there tends to be like a handful, like a small handful of films that get recognized for the big things, right? Production, sound, acting, things like that. But I feel like there's so many other things about films that deserve to be recognized, deserve to be talked about, and there's so many movies that come out that are so good for so many reasons that just kind of get overlooked. So that's what this is for. I have created 14 of my own categories, and I have done my own nominations based off of movies that I've seen with a little help from friends of mine who are also very much into film, and we're going to talk about nominees and winners at the very first annual Raven Honey Academy Awards. Yay! I don't know if I'm going to stick with that name for this award ceremony. Putting my name just in front of the Academy Awards just feels kind of like who am I? You know what I mean? Also, what I did was I wrote out all the nominations and I put them all in a survey and sent them to my friends and had them vote. But I do get final say in all the winners because it's my award ceremony and I get to pick the winners. It's my channel, it's my video. But I will let you know the winners of the popular vote based on what my friends in the survey chose. But the real winner will be whatever I choose because, again, it's my channel, it's my award ceremony. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it hot and heavy by disregarding acting, disregarding performance. We're going right for the aesthetics, right for sexiness. Our first category is hottest actor in a movie. That's not to say that none of the people that I'm about to list are bad actors. They're all very, very good actors, but we don't give a fuck about that right now. We're talking about how sexy these men are. The nominees for hottest actor in a movie are Rowan Campbell in Silent Night, Deadly Night, the remake. Jason Momoa in a Minecraft movie. Rami Malek in The Amateur. Austin Butler in Caught Stealing and Eddington. Bill Skarsgård in Locked. And Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. These are our nominees, and the winner is Bill Skarsgård in Locked. It just doesn't get any better than bleach blonde Bill Skarsgård, I tell you what. Congratulations, Bill Skarsgård. You're super hot in everything you do, but especially in Locked. Congratulations, Bill Skarsgård. You have won the first award at the Raven Honey Academy Award. Bill Skarsgård was, of course, my pick because, again, I am the host. I created these categories, but the popular vote, based on the survey amongst my friends, did go to Michael B. Jordan in Sinners, but he's already won Best Actor at the actual Oscars, so he doesn't need to win here as well for Hottest Actor. He is very hot. Everyone I listed, very, very hot, like I said, and Michael B. Jordan will have opportunity to win in more categories later. But in this category, Hottest Actor, Bill Skarsgård, congratulations. You're so hot. Can't wait to see what other movies you appear in next year to see if you get another nomination. Moving right along, we can't forget the ladies. Our next category is Hottest Actress in a Movie, and the nominees are Alexandra Shipp in Violent Ends, Una Chaplin in Avatar: Fire and Ash, Megan Surrey in Companion, Renata Reinsva in Sentimental Value, Margaret Qualley in Blue Moon, and Odessa Azion in Until Dawn. These are our nominees for Hottest Actress in a Movie, and the winner is Odessa Zion in Until Dawn. Yay, congratulations, Odessa. I've loved Odessa ever since she appeared in the Hellraiser remake. I really like the Hellraiser remake, and I remember seeing her on screen and just being captivated with how beautiful she was, so of course she was going to get a nomination if she appeared in any movie from me, and she looked really good in Until Dawn. She kind of won the popular vote. It was interesting in the survey. It was actually in a tie. It was an even split between Odessa and Una Chaplin in Avatar, Fire and Ash. The group of guys I know, my fiance and his friends, all really liked Una Chaplin in Avatar, Fire and Ash, which is less about Una and more about the special effects team that designed her, with technically the second place popular vote being Megan Suri from Companion. So congrats to you too. You're also very hot. Okay, now we're gonna actually get into some film stuff. We do have some like real categories here, some more serious ones. The next category is all about storytelling format. This is how a story is told, how the movie is shown, essentially. I really enjoy when a film does something different. It's not just like put a camera in front of something and something happens, right? It's non-linear, maybe we're going back and forth between past and present, maybe it's all one take, like Birdman or something like that. Presentation, I just feel like, is very important when it comes to a film, and I just love when a film does something new, does something different, and takes risks in any aspect. But I think format is one of those ones that's really fun to play with. I feel like you can do a lot when it comes to your film format. So the next category is Best Storytelling Format, and the nominees are Weapons. The same events are portrayed through the perspectives of different characters. Presence. The entire story is shown through the perspective of a ghost. Wolfman. Several scenes of werewolf vision. Blue Moon. The whole film is set in one place, with the events shown in real time. And the winner of Best Storytelling Format is Weapons. Non-linear storytelling, showing your film, your events, through several different perspectives, all coming together. Congratulations, Weapons, you also won the popular vote. It was a really interesting way to portray the events of this film. Love non-linear storytelling, love when we get pieces of a film through the eyes of different characters. I think perspective is a really fun thing to play with, and it was really interesting seeing the whole story come together in this way. Next category is also story related. It's Best Story Themes or Metaphors. Story themes are important. When you're making a film, when you're telling any story, it's important to understand what the story is about. Every story needs to say something. Why are the characters here? Why are we watching them? What is the purpose of what is happening on screen? What is the filmmaker? What are these artists trying to say? There's a lot to consider, and there's a lot of different ways to tell a story, just like we talked about in the last category, and this kind of goes along with that theme. So, Best Story Themes, the nominees are 28 Years Later, the psychological toll of long-term survival, nostalgia, and rebirth. Sinners, vampirism as conformity, betrayals of freedom, and the American dream. Avatar, Fire and Ash, trauma, survivor's guilt, biofamily versus found family, conservatism, prejudice. One Battle After Another, justice, revolution, brotherhood, and family trauma cycles. And the winner for Best Story Themes is Sinners. I told you Sinners would have more opportunities to win. I mean, I just can't deny that this was a really interesting way to portray these certain themes. So many films, so many stories that portray very similar themes of freedom, pursuing the American dream, racism, prejudice, immigration, conformity, things like that, using fantasy and vampirism, which is also rich with symbolism in and of itself. You can use fantasy in general, but also vampirism specifically, to portray all sorts of themes and messages. And using it in this way as like hive mind conformity against this pursuit of the American dream I thought was really, really interesting. Very, very unique. And it's just the kind of film that really came together with everything, but its messaging especially. So Sinners wins for best story theme / metaphors. And Sinners also won the popular vote in the survey as well. Moving on, we're going back into more of the acting category here. Less about the actor as a whole and more about how the actors play with each other. This is all about chemistry. Chemistry is so important because you can have one actor who's a really good actor. You can have two actors who are great actors. But if they don't have chemistry, you're really going to feel that on screen. And us as the audience is not really going to feel whatever is supposed to be happening between them, whether that be romance, friendship, a parental relationship, whatever it is. And that kind of just goes beyond normal acting, and it's something that I think deserves to be recognized. And it is really important to have, especially in a romantic film. So that's what we're going to talk about in our next category, Best Romantic Chemistry. So the nominees for Best Romantic Chemistry are Andrew Rannells and Nick Kroll in I Don't Understand You.
Oh my God, it's in my front pocket.
Okay, that's what I was trying to be sexy there.
You were not.
Dominic Sessa and Havana Rose Liu in Oh What Fun. Renee Zellweger and Chiwetel Ejiofor in Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy.
You sure you don't need a hand?
No. As Einstein said, what goes up must come down.
Newton.
Yes, Newton.
Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal in Hamnet. And Michael B. Jordan and Wunmi Masako in Sinners.
How you know I ain't brave? I work every route my grandmama taught me to keep you and that crazy brother of yours safe. Every day since you've been gone.
And the winner of Best Romantic Chemistry goes to Michael B. Jordan and Wunmi Masako in Sinners. Yay! As Smoke and Annie. I loved the relationship between Smoke and Annie. Everyone talks about Michael B. Jordan's performance in Sinners, especially because he won Best Actor, but I think there should be a lot more credit given to really all the other actors, and I loved Wunmi Masako as Annie. I thought she was very, very essential to the plot and also to Smoke's character. And them together had this really great chemistry of people that you could tell have this really hard history but still love each other through it. They also did win the popular vote, so people who took my survey agree. Nobody voted for Dominic Sessa and Havana Rose Liu, which I understand because I feel like not a lot of people saw Oh What Fun. It was a straight to Amazon Prime Christmas movie that wasn't even that good. But if you did see it, you'd know that the bar scene between the two of them was really, really cute. And I wanted to pick that as the winner. The problem is, one, that movie's not very good, and two, the two of them weren't really together very much beyond that scene, but I promise you they also had Best Romantic Chemistry. It's enough to earn them a nomination in the oh-so-prestigious Raven Honey Academy Awards, so... Like I mentioned when I was introducing that category, chemistry isn't just about romantic chemistry. It can also be friendship. It can also be a parental relationship. It can be a lot of things. Chemistry is chemistry. And if your lead characters don't have chemistry, then that really hurts a film. Whoever your leads are that are supposed to be together for whatever reason, if they're supposed to lead your film, they need to have chemistry. They need to be able to play off of each other. With that, our next category is Best Non-Romantic Chemistry. And the nominees for Best Non-Romantic Chemistry are Elle Fanning and Demetrius Schuster Colamontangi in Predator Badlands.
Well, good luck with your journey.
Keanu Reeves and Seth Rogen in Good Fortune.
Jeff, could you imagine seeing strawberries for thousands of years but never actually knowing the sweet taste enclosed in those magical berries?
I can't imagine. And in all fairness, that's a chocolate milkshake.
Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson in The Long Walk.
Wait, listen to me. If you make this, I suggest you choose love. I suggest you take that prize and go home to your mom because Ray, you a good fucking kid. And you deserve it.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah.
SZA and Keke Palmer in One of Them Days.
Do your own thing. And what's that? Living paycheck to paycheck? You got this, okay? You been that girl. Been that girl.
And the winner for Best Non-Romantic Chemistry is Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson in The Long Walk. Congratulations, The Long Walk. It is your first win of the night. The Long Walk was a really good film. I'm surprised it didn't really get any sort of awards recognition, at least none that I saw. Definitely not at the Oscars. Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson, I loved seeing how their relationship developed over a very short period of time in this film. The sort of trauma bond that they went to on the long walk that they endured, the different emotions that they were able to hit together over these couple of days in the events of the film was really something. This was a hard one though, because all of these had really great non-romantic chemistry together. All of these different pairings really made these films as good as they were. As far as the popular vote goes, it was actually a tie between Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson and SZA and Keke Palmer in One of Them Days. I just had to go with The Long Walk because it was just such a good film. One of Them Days I wanted to like, and they're both good together, but I think that movie is less about their chemistry and more just the fact that they're both very funny together. But Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson, they both gave really great, good performances separately, but also their chemistry together was excellent. I know we were just talking about non-romantic, but we're gonna go back to romantic for a second and talk about the best love scene. Love scenes, this is something I'm gonna stand on my soapbox about for a second. I feel like I've seen a lot of conversations these days about unnecessary sex in movies. I think sex is a beautiful, wonderful thing. I think it can be very artistic. I don't care if it's unnecessary to the story. Really, nothing in a story is necessary. Movies are unnecessary. We watch them because they're art, they're fun, they have something to say. At the end of the day, all movies are unnecessary. We don't need to watch movies. We watch movies to be entertained. And yes, you could argue that some movies are quote-unquote more important than others because of their messaging, because of their themes, kind of like how we were talking about earlier, bringing awareness to things. But you can also do all those things in real life, and that would make a much bigger impact than watching a movie about those things. So when it comes to like necessary and unnecessary things in movies, I hate when people are like, I hate that there's so much sex in movies these days. I love it. I think, not that I just want every movie to have tons and tons of sex scenes, but I love a good sex scene. I do, and I'm not going to apologize for it. And I think that they can be really, really beautiful, really, really artistic. I think sex is a beautiful thing. Obviously, I think there's lots of different ways to portray relationships between characters, to portray love and connection between characters. I'm a big advocate for all of that stuff. There's plenty of ways to portray that. Sex is one of them. And I think there's really cool things you can do with sex scenes. I think they're fun. And I don't think that we should be afraid of it. So, without further ado, these are the nominations for the best love scene. I'm not going to be able to show you guys the complete clips of these for obvious reasons. I'll show some bits or as much as I can. So mainly I'm just going to kind of be describing them over what I am able to show you. The nominees for best love scene are Zephyr and Moses in Dangerous Animals, One Night Stand in Zephyr's van before she gets kidnapped, and it's so good that it prompts Moses to look for her when she gets kidnapped, Elphaba and Fiyero in Wicked for Good, the musical Forest love scene where she's wearing her sex cardigan, Sammy and Pearline in Sinners, where he goes down on her on the table, Tim and Millie in Together, where their private parts get momentarily fused together while they're having sex in the bathroom stall after not having had sex in a long time. And the winner for best love scene is Sammy and Pearline in Sinners. This one was a landslide victory when it came to the survey, and also I was gonna pick it anyway because we love women's pleasure, we do. And it was such a good scene. Like I said, women's pleasure, great thing to portray in a movie. Sinners itself had a lot of great love scenes. I feel like when it comes to sex in movies, when there is sex in movies, it's really less about the women's pleasure. Like, it's more about like just the sex itself than it is about like foreplay. So having the love scene be foreplay was unique and interesting and beautiful in and of itself. So Sammy and Pearline win that one. In our next category, we're revisiting acting a little bit, but in more of a very subtle way. Any writer can write a script, any actor can read a line or recite a monologue that then gets played when they're nominated for Best Actor, Best Actress, whatever. We often forget about those smaller lines that have such subtlety underneath them, have such humor to them that it catches us off guard, or have such a deep sadness or anger behind them when the line itself might not be anything special otherwise. It's what's put behind those words. It doesn't really matter what the line is, it's about the delivery. So this category is Best Line Delivery. And the nominees are Tim Robinson in Friendship. There's a new Marvel out.
There's a new Marvel out that's supposed to be nuts. We should go see that.
Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another. Viva la Revolution with voice crack.
God damn it! Viva la revolution!
Lee Jun-Lee in Sinners. Come on in, you motherfuckers.
Come on in, you motherfucker!
How you doing?
Bill Skarsgård in Locked. Emma would be ashamed of you.
That's right.
Oh, Emma would be ashamed of you.
Benicio del Toro in One Battle After Another. A Few Small Beers.
You been drinking today?
I've had a few.
A few what?
A few small beers.
And Keanu Reeves in Good Fortune. I'm a big boy.
There you go. You're a big boy, huh?
Yeah, I'm a big boy.
And the winner for Best Line Delivery is Bill Skarsgård in Locked. Emma would be ashamed of you. Now, yes, you can say all day long that I am just biased to Bill Skarsgård, and that might be true. However, I think there's a lot to love about this line delivery. This is coming at the very end of the film. A lot has built up to this moment, and it's not even just about the delivery of the line, it's about how his character, Eddie, is so beaten up and tortured at this point, but is still fighting for his life with everything that he has inside of him, and this line is a punch that he's throwing, because he can't physically throw a punch in this moment. So it means a lot. He knows that this is going to hurt Anthony Hopkins, and he's doing whatever he can to get to him. He's hitting Anthony Hopkins where it hurts, his daughter, because Anthony Hopkins is physically hurting him by slamming his face into the car over and over again. I love how the blood just pours out of his mouth and nose, and he is still fighting with his words through this pain, because Bill Skarsgård, Eddie, needs to get back to his own daughter, so he's throwing whatever shots he can. And also just the way that he says this line, Emma, he drags it out, Emma would be ashamed of you, gives me chills. And yes, of course, I am a big It and Pennywise fan, and I do feel like this line, the Pennywise, kind of comes out of his throat a little bit. I feel like it's always in there, just in the back of his throat, and this line kind of comes out, would be ashamed of you. It was like very Pennywise-y. That's not why I like the line, though. I like it for everything else that was said. All these other lines, though, are great. That one did not win the popular vote. The popular vote by a landslide was Benicio del Toro, A Few Small Beers. A lot of people that I sent the survey to, which was overwhelmingly a lot of men, loved that line, and I understand it. Love the subtlety, love the very subtle humor of that line, but if I didn't pick Bill Skarsgård, I would have picked Keanu Reeves' I'm a Big Boy. If not that line, I almost picked the line where he's talking about chicken nuggies, just because I think everything he said in Good Fortune, everything Keanu Reeves said in Good Fortune was just so funny. But best line delivery, I had to give it to Bill Skarsgård in Locked. The next category, very, very similar to our previous category, but this one is not about the lines themselves. It doesn't really matter what the characters are saying in this category at all. This is about the emotion, how it is said, what does their face look like, what is not being said, are they even saying anything, is it a scream, is it something as simple as a gasp or a cry? A line isn't always words. It can be a sound or an expression or a movement to portray an emotion. So that's what this next category is all about. This category is the best display of emotion. And the nominees are Ariana Grande in Wicked for Good.
Her sister. He's her sister.
Joshua Neal in One of Them Days. Glenn Close in Wake Up Dead Man. Rami Malek in The Amateur.
Your wife has been killed? No, she's at a conference. We should call her.
Lucy Liu in Presence. And Judy Greer in The Long Walk. And the winner of Best Display of Emotion is Judy Greer in The Long Walk. I got chills during this scene in The Long Walk. It was really a toss-up for me between Judy Greer and Lucy Liu because they're both very, very similar. They're seeing their sons. Judy Greer, her son, literally gunned to his head about to die if he doesn't keep walking, so she needs him to keep going. And then Lucy Liu, who sees her son who has died in the mirror coming back to visit her before she leaves this house. And the emotions that they display, the screams that we hear from them, both times I very much got chills. But I had to give it to Judy on this one. I mean, I really could have even given it to Cooper Hoffman in this scene too. Just both of them together feeding off of each other and just how intense this entire scene was. Gave me goosebumps. From her facial expression to the desperation in her voice and in her screams, it was just really great acting. In the survey, it was actually a tie between Judy Greer and Ariana Grande. I think maybe just a lot of Wicked fans took my survey because I don't know how you can look at, and maybe I'm just anti-biased against Wicked because I didn't think Wicked for Good was very good. I just included that as a nomination because it was suggested to me a few times. I just don't see how someone could look at the other examples and pick Ariana Grande. I know her performance was a little more like subtle, and some people prefer subtlety of emotion, which is fine. I think Rami Malek gave a really good subtle sadness in his performance and more of like a shock of what was happening. Obviously, these are different things that are happening in these films, but that's fine. That one goes to Judy Greer. Congrats, Judy Greer. Next up, still on the acting train, we're going right into Best Comedic Performance. Shows like the Emmys and People's Choice Awards and things like that, they do give out awards for like comedic performances. The Oscars, I feel like, don't really focus a whole lot on anything other than drama most of the time. It just feels like for the Oscars, acting is dramatic, which sure, but also, can you entertain me? Can you make me laugh? Can I have a bad day and watch you on the screen and feel better? That's what's really important for me when I use movies as an escape. It's not about the quality of the dramatic acting, and you can move me with your monologue and your facial expressions and everything that we talked about in the previous categories. I just want to know, can you also be funny when I need you to be funny? So that's what this category is all about. So the nominees for Best Comedic Performance are Kate McKinnon in The Roses, Keanu Reeves in Good Fortune, Michael Cera in The Phoenician Scheme, Jeremy Renner in Wake Up Dead Man, Keke Palmer in One of Them Days. And the winner for Best Comedic Performance is Keanu Reeves in Good Fortune. I reviewed Good Fortune like 2 different times on my channel. I reviewed it itself, and then I talked about it when I talked about the best and worst movies of 2025. He is so good in comedy, and I think it's just kind of his like innocent, dry sort of humor that he had in Good Fortune. The character he was playing specifically had such a different style of comedy as opposed to Seth Rogen and Aziz Ansari in that movie that just worked so well as a trio, but also just Keanu himself. Anytime he gets to be comedic, he kills it. I had to give that one to Keanu Reeves. The popular vote did go to Keke Palmer in One of Them Days, and Keke Palmer is really, really funny in general. She's funny in that movie, she's funny in general, but I had to give it to Keanu Reeves in Good Fortune just because I thought Good Fortune was a better movie than One of Them Days, but Keke Palmer is also in Good Fortune. So she wins regardless. She's a part of an award-winning film regardless. Our next category is Best Non-Native Accent. This is a very hyper-specific category, I feel. This is like a piece of acting that I've seen talked about more so in recent years, specifically with like Robert Pattinson, how he gives different voices and accents to different characters that are often just like so wildly different than his own voice, but also wildly different than any voice or accent that actually exists. And the choices he makes when it comes to how his characters speak really does a lot for who that character is. It informs the character so much and their personalities and things like that. I saw it discussed with Daniel Craig in the Knives Out series as well, and I think that's just something that deserves recognition. How a character speaks is just one part of a character, but I do think it is very important. How a character speaks and how they move and everything like that, all of that is part of the big puzzle piece of telling us who that character is. This is specifically non-native accent because this is an actor who is putting on an accent that is not their own. That's a part of acting. They're not just talking in their own regular voice and saying that they're a different character. They have fully embodied a different person, and changing their voice is a big part of that. The nominees for Best Non-Native Accent are Robert Pattinson in Mickey 17. He is a British actor doing a strange, hard-to-place American accent.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if you're thinking at this point, what have I done? Nothing was working out, and I wanted to get off of Earth.
Michael Cera in The Phoenician Scheme. He is an American actor doing a Norwegian accent for most of the film.
I bear no hostility toward your father or his interests. Your father, however, on occasion bears decisive hostility to the United States government and its allies and enemies. I could go ahead and turn back into my normal self right now, if you like. It's not that different from how you see me already.
Renee Zellweger in Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy. She is an American actress doing a British accent.
No, we're not going to die. We're having fun.
We are definitely going to die. Oh my God. I've climbed a magical man tree.
Daniel Craig in Wake Up Dead Man. He is an English actor doing a heavy Southern accent.
I want you to get a clear clinical picture of what happened here. To see Wicks as he is, a corpse, just an empty vessel. Not the mythologized monster in your mind, but merely flesh and blood. Dead from a knife wound we can analyze. Just flesh and blood.
And Bill Skarsgård in Locked. He is a Swedish actor doing what I would describe as kind of an inner city American accent.
It's Eddie. Could you spot me some cash? Oh, what's so funny?
Yeah.
You got a guy chained up in your car.
And the winner for Best Non-Native Accent goes to Robert Pattinson in Mickey 17. I didn't talk about Mickey 17 in my Best of the Worst 2025. I think I talked about it in 2024 because I saw a preview of it in 2024, so I counted it last year, but technically it was a 2025 movie. And Robert Pattinson, love what he did with the character of Mickey, but his voice itself, it informed the character so much. As far as the survey goes, it was actually a three-way tie between Robert Pattinson, Michael Cera, and Daniel Craig, and all of them did great. I was close to picking Michael Cera, but he only does the Norwegian accent for part of the film, and again, it just kind of came down to I liked Mickey 17 more than I liked The Phoenician Scheme. But yeah, congrats to Robert Pattinson on that one. Next up, back into the acting sphere, movies gotta have a good villain. If you have a protagonist, you gotta have an antagonist. Antagonist isn't always villain, but with this category, we're picking undoubtedly villainous characters. So, the nominees for Best Villain are Joaquin Phoenix as Sheriff Joe Cross in Eddington, Sean Penn as Colonel Stephen Lockjaw in One Battle After Another, Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette as politicians Kenneth and Aoife Marshall in Mickey 17, and Jack O'Connell as the vampire Remick in Sinners. And the winner for Best Villain is Jack O'Connell as Remick. I know, Sinners low-key sweeping, just like it did at the real Oscars. I didn't like sweep at the Oscars, but it got so many nominations and got a lot of wins. And I can't not give it wins here just because it was such a good movie. Jack O'Connell, it's just the fact that what I was saying earlier about themes, I loved the use of vampirism as related to the story of Sinners, the overarching story and themes and metaphor of the film. But also Jack O'Connell himself, he's just such a good villain. He'll probably get nominated for my awards next year for Best Villain for Jimmy Crystal in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. There was just something so sickly sweet and sinister about him because he comes off so nice as this vampire. He doesn't come off evil in the way that he speaks and acts. It's all underneath. He does these undoubtedly villainous evil things, but he also has this kind of cult leader charm about him that's a different kind of scary. He's very, very dynamic, so had to give him the win on that one. But actually, the popular vote went to Sean Penn in One Battle After Another. Continuing right along with horror, and my favorite part of horror movies are the horror sequences, the blood and guts, the kills, the horror in the horror movies. That's what we're going to focus on with this next category. So this is Best Horror Montage / Sequence. And the nominees are Dangerous Animals, Feeding a Girl to Sharks. The Home, Pete Davidson slaughters the elderly. Final Destination Bloodlines, the entire opening sequence. Weapons, Gladys's death. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Santa kills a warehouse full of Nazis. And the award for Best Horror Montage / Sequence goes to Silent Night, Deadly Night. Santa kills a warehouse full of Nazis. Because fuck Nazis. That's why. This one didn't win the popular vote. Gladys's death and Weapons won the popular vote. And I understand that because I feel like just a lot more people saw Weapons than who saw Silent Night, Deadly Night, which was a remake of a movie that's already been remade, and it was kind of very low budget. But if you did see Silent Night, Deadly Night, the remake, I don't see how you could not pick Santa slaughtering all the Nazis as Best Horror Montage. Not only is it a fuck Nazis moment, which is the type of energy that we need in the world right now, fuck all the Nazis, right? But the effects in that scene were so well done. I loved the pacing, I loved the camera work. It added this humanity to our main character who's supposed to be a slasher. Really, he's an anti-hero. The thing about the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake is they definitely rewrote Billy as an anti-hero anyway, so he kind of already wasn't really a villain, but this scene really solidified him as more of an anti-hero than anything. So for me, there was no question that Silent Night, Deadly Night wins for Best Horror Montage. We're on to our last category of the night, folks. It is almost time to bring this ceremony to a close. And this category, this is something that is very, very specific only to this last year in film, but there were a lot of instances of a character playing multiple roles, a lot of dual roles in films, so much so that I created an entire category. I don't know what's up with actors playing multiple characters this past year. That's something that's been done before, obviously, but 2025 specifically, this was the year of dual roles. So the final category of my version of the Academy Awards is Best Dual Role. And the nominees are Christian Convery as young Hal/Bill in The Monkey, Theo James as older Hal/Bill in The Monkey, Robert Pattinson as Mickey 17 and 18 in Mickey 17, Elle Fanning as Thea and Tessa in Predator Badlands, and Michael B. Jordan as Smoke/Stack in Sinners. And the winner for Best Dual Role goes to Christian Convery in The Monkey. I chose Christian Convery for this for multiple reasons. One, yes, the popular vote by far went to Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. And yes, for good reason. One, Michael B. Jordan, like I stated earlier, already won Best Actor for this role. He doesn't need to win it again from me. Because one, who am I, right? I'm here to highlight other roles. And I feel like The Monkey and the performances within it far overlooked. Was it a good film? No. This dual role portrayal from Christian Convery specifically was really, really great. More so even than Theo James, because when I was watching it, I knew that both older Hal and older Bill was Theo James. They were both Theo James. I don't care what they did to his hair. I don't care how one was acting like an asshole and one wasn't. They were both very obviously Theo James. One of the reasons that Michael B. Jordan got so much praise as Smoke and Stack in Sinners is that he put a lot of work into making sure that they could be differentiated as two separate people in how they moved, how they spoke, how they went about the world. One of them can roll a cigarette and one of them can't. Lots of little subtleties that made it very, very realistic that these are twins that are two very separate men. And he did that very, very well. I think Christian Convery as young Hal and Bill did just as good of a job with The Monkey. And that might be controversial. Yes, it wasn't as big a budget of a movie, and obviously he's not in the entire thing because for a good portion of the movie, Theo James plays the character. But in all the scenes where we see younger Hal and Bill, the two boys are so different. Young Hal and young Bill, not only do they look different, but Christian carries himself so differently as Hal as opposed to Bill. I really believed that these were two brothers, these were two separate boys that hated each other. And I didn't even know that these characters were played by the same boy until way after I saw the movie. I really thought that these characters were played by real twins because Christian Convery did such a good job differentiating his characters and portraying such different, distinctive personalities in these boys. So I think he definitely deserves recognition for his dual roles, and I hope he continues to act so that he can get some real recognition later on and not just from me on my YouTube channel in this video that's going to be seen by maybe 50 people. So congratulations, Christian Convery. You have won Best Dual Role. But that is it for my edition of the Academy Awards and my new Oscar categories. This was a lot of fun. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you agreed or disagreed or anything with my nominees, with my winners, let me know in the comments. If there's any other categories that you thought would be fun, list those as well. I would love to hear them. But for now, that's going to be it. Thank you for joining me at the first annual Raven Honey Academy Awards, new Oscar category edition, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
Thanks for watching, honeybees. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye! Meow!